Hello, and welcome to this episode of Frankie's Cultural Observations. Today, we're going to be analysing cyclists. Ow. Cyclists are the wasps of the motorway. The only difference is some drivers like wasps and feel sad when one smashes into their windshield. Cyclists are moral authoritarians who spend their time policing the roads to chase and chastise drivers who are on their phone. Which is why they sometimes forget to stick their hand out when indicating to turn left on the main road, because the rules don't apply to them and they just caused a 6-car pileup that definitely wasn't their fault. Cyclists have a severe persecution complex, even though they're behind more road traffic incidents than drinking 8 pints on an empty stomach. Screamed at by taxi drivers and disrespected by pedestrians who walk out in front of them without fear, cyclists are doomed to pedal up the same hill for the rest of eternity. You're holding onto that handle like it's not your bike.
Because it's not my bike.
When cyclists lock their bike in public, it gives a glimpse into the brief vulnerability of everyday life. It's an honest, up-close moment, almost as embarrassing as tying your shoelaces in the middle of the street or getting a bubble in your throat when you talk to a stranger. Cyclists lock their bike because they have trust issues. As their road-based trauma develops, they begin to backpedal and the locks become more intricate, starting with a padlock, then a coil around the bike chain, then a second lock that's placed so awkwardly on the back wheel that even they'll struggle to open it. At the end stage of bicyclism, cyclists even log their frame number on a national database, because the only thing that will stop a petty criminal from robbing your bike is the iron shield of bureaucracy.
Am I supposed
Cyclists cycle through stages. First gear, they still wear their human clothes, biking it to work out of convenience and a vague desire to be environmental. No special accessories, just a tote bag slung over their shoulder to trick girls into thinking they're gay. Second gear, they upgrade to a backpack with a chest strap for optimal stability. Third gear, wait, do bikes have gears? Third gear, padded shorts for ultimate comfort and maximum protection. Fourth gear, a bib that they iron and a clunky pair of overshoes they never take off. Fifth gear, they're in full lycra, aerodynamic sunglasses, fingerless gloves, and a jersey plastered in brand logos even though they're not competing in a race.
It's funny as well because I have been all of these stages. And
Oh,
that's why I
great.
looked down at the chest strap.
At this stage, they're completely obsessed with health, going from cuisine de France with a bagel on their lunch break to Tour de France with a mountain wear jumpsuit. We can stop here. To Tour de France with a mountain wear jumpsuit. Oh, are you okay? To Tour de France with a mountain wear jumpsuit and an expensive road bike that costs 3 months of rent. Through persistent years of wearing a helmet, cyclists eventually become the helmet. Gorpcore. Cyclists are in the process of emotional maturity that I call the hedonism to optimization pipeline. In their early 20s, these fledglings could stay awake for 3 days, take enough pills to kill a horse, and then eat an 18-inch pizza without putting on any weight. This illusion of invincibility begins to fade as their knees start to buckle and they get their first STD, realising it's time to join the real world, say hello to the workforce, and maybe buy a cafetiere. Possessed of the knowledge that life is fragile, these millennials turn themselves into smartwatches, metric values, Strava accounts, with a debilitating fear of the future, and of bus drivers who keep screaming at them to get off the road, even though they're in the cycle lane. Cycling marks a turn in the human spirit. When self-improvement became democratized, cyclists, caught up in the drudgery of their creative marketing job or Fortune 500 companies, decided the only time they could carve out for exercise was when they were travelling to places that paid them to stand still. So rather than waiting to get from point A to point B, they stuck on a helmet and did it slightly sweating. Why are you always slightly sweating? Cycling used to be for the poor, or for people who have DUIs who don't want to take public transport. But with the emergence of the fixies in the late 2000s, cycling became appropriated by hipsters. In our modern condition that absorbs and recycles subcultures, by the late 2010s, hipster assimilation was in full effect. The entire millennial middle class became infected, turning into the tired hipster stereotypes they used to poke fun at. Now, everyone rides bikes, so it can be argued that cyclists have become pedestrianised. You can stop now. Fourth gear. Sorry. I'm just making some of the lines up. Fourth gear. What is fourth gear? Do you know?
Faster than 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Thanks for that. Sorry. Okay. Fourth gear. No, I can't remember my line. Fuck. Disrespected by taxi drivers and screamed at. Sorry. I mean, I could understand if you were sweating profusely. I could understand if you were sweating Why are you always slightly sweating? I could understand if you were like sweating profusely, because then that would be some sort of condition. But slightly sweating is just so little sweating that, you know, it's almost not necessary. So how dare you? Okay. I haven't even said anything yet. Cycling used to be reserved for the poor. Can you see the hole in my trousers at this angle? Okay. Cyclists are moral authoritarians who sorry. Like, I could understand if, like, you were sweating profusely. I could understand if you were sweating profusely. Cycling used to be for the poor, or for people with DUIs. Oh God, my nose is running.
Oh no, I got some tissue.
No, it's okay. It's not running anymore. It's grand.